divergent in our views, we were diverse in our views, and our approach to issues was so much different. But these three regions adopted and practiced the parliamentary system of democracy. And with that, self-government was in place, and every other thing was running smoothly. Each region had its own constitution, its own anthem, its coat of arms, and even had its own foreign representatives in places like the United Kingdom, the United States, France, and other places. That is, each region was self-governing, developing at its own pace. For example, in the Western region, Chief Obafemi Awolowo was the leader of government business, and he was also the Minister of Local Government and Finance from 1952 to 1953. And in 1954, he became the Premier of the region till 1959. It is noteworthy to record and to remind ourselves that his government provided exemplary leadership, as the Western region witnessed outstanding developments. Then, the Western region embarked on free education in 1955 and the first television station in Africa in 1959. His government provided free education. The government provided free medical services for children under the age of 18. He provided the first Olympic-sized stadium in Africa, marketing boards. The government of Western region then paid higher wages than even the federal government. You had the farm estates, you had the industrial estates. The Pilgrims Welfare Board, all were products of the then Western region government led by Chief Obafemi Awolowo. And in one of the remarks made by one person, he said, one of the most cherished philosophers and political thinkers that Africa has ever produced is Obafemi Awolowo. And in 1955, Awolowo was quoted as saying that the North was different from the East and the West, and that what his government did in 14 months was more than what even Britain could have done in a whole eternity. And that is what we want to look at this morning on the program. Nigeria before independence, 1953 to 1959. Then we had the parliamentary system of government. Membership of the House of Assembly then was on part-time basis, and so many things. So, where did we get it wrong? Where did we derail? So, that is our focus on the program this morning. And in the discussion, Anoluwapo Morinde, you are most welcome.
Thank you so much, Femi. It's good to be part of this particular conversation. One will discover that many Nigerians, especially the ones that witnessed this period of time, and they are alive now, they will want a return back to that journey. And so on the program today, we want to look at what are those features, what are these things that characterize this time that many Nigerians who saw it, who experienced it, who had a feel of it, why are they clamoring that we go back to this time? Why should everybody be looking forward? But in Nigeria, people are looking backward, saying it appears the best of Nigeria is at this time. And we have Mr. Abuguloko joining us.
Mr. Laulu
Abuguloko,
Public Affairs
Analyst, joining us on the program. A very good morning to you, Mr. Abuguloko. Good morning. Thank you so much for your time. So let's start this way. When you look at what Femi read out, you discover that the governments of today are only building on the achievements of the government at that time. Why would you say all of these were possible at that time? What reason would you adduce to these achievements by the leaders, especially in the Southwest region?
Thank you very much. I won't agree with you that the government of today are building on what went on that time. Because we completely derailed from what they were.
But they are not even building on it.
Are you saying they are not building?
They are not building on anything. Because in those days, education was planned according to the need of the people. You don't just bring anything to. In the north, they were using their primary six were using 7 years to run
Primary
six.
school.
Down south, especially in the western region, we were using 6 years. We had modern school. They didn't have anything of such. So in those days, they planned according to the need of the people. The leaders then were very close to the people. The kind of system they were using is the type that you are nearer to the grassroots than anything. When you complete government business during the week, you go back to your people. Somebody living in Shaki, Kishi, for example, on Friday you go back to your people and they will ask you what went on during the week. You have to explain to them. Then they tell you their needs. Then you bring it to the parliament. So they knew the need of the people, and they were looking for ways of solving the problems. Don't forget that our leaders were people most of them from poor background, especially Chief Obafemi Awolowo. He was no royalty, while in other regions, those of them were royalties. So Awolowo went through the rudiment, through he passed through the fire, and he knew what entails, and some of his lieutenants too. So they really planned, and they were operating egalitarian society. Which Yoruba will say, you have to strive, you have to prove yourself, you prove your mettle, and they will give you something, not minding where you come from. So it was a fair and clean system they were operating. It was not perfect though, but people had interest in them. They had the interest of the people, and people were interested in them. But nowadays, do we those in government, do they get consent of the people? I don't think so. So they are not building on what entails. If we start taking this one by one, you will see that they completely derail from.
One will be tempted to think that the leaders of today are actually building on the feats achieved by these nationalists, the likes of Awolowo. So, in that introductory remark, you discover that Awolowo established the Pilgrim Welfare Board.
Yeah.
You discover that the educational template he laid, though pretentiously, the leaders of today will say they are following it. You discover that the stadiums, that were built at that time, although we are still struggling to maintain many of them today. So you ask yourself, what actually is new that they are bringing on board? So if they are not building,
that's exactly the issue. Are the leaders of today actually building anything?
I don't think so, because the process of getting our leaders today is quite different. Today is a sort of mercantilism. Those who go into politics to do business. In those days, they serve their people. The political parties in those days, they contribute money to run the political party. Nowadays, you get sponsors. You have to have your money. You have to have certain amount before you can contest. So it's more or less like business. And somebody who is in business will like to take care of himself before thinking of building anything. And another thing is the kind of politics we play nowadays is when somebody starts a project, another one comes and leaves that because he doesn't want the name of those who started the project to be mentioned, that after all the predecessor started it, and is credited with
the project gets abandoned
and start another one. And they will do it in such a way that maybe he will complete it within his tenure.
While the other one is abandoned.
It's abandoned, and he may not even be able to complete it. So these are the kind of things we are witnessing now. So the leadership today, because of the system we are operating, is quite different from those days. So that's majorly why they are not being able to build anything.
Could it
Some
be that
people will say, I've had it said often that the leaders will say, go and do the road so that it will be useful for them for 6 months, so that we will use that for campaign.
And thereafter,
after getting his election, whether the road got spoiled or not,
it's not his business.
And you will see some roads on paper, the roads have just been completed, but this road is still as bad as ever. So these are the kind of things that is happening now.
Could it be that this country was richer at that time than it is presently? Because you look at things that Awolowo, for instance, in the Western region, things he achieved nationally today, we're struggling with them. Could it be that our regions were richer at that time, than we are today?
The regions were richer.
Okay.
In the sense that they had a lot of money to operate with. They had their resources to operate with. And since you are in control of your resources, you either improve on it so that it will be useful for you, or you neglect it at your own peril. But nowadays, the system we are using, you get money doled out from the center. During that time, Awolowo had a lot of money to play around with because of the revenue formula they were using. The regions were given 50% of what comes from their region, 30% to consolidated
fund,
account,
yes.
Then 20% to the federal. But nowadays, reverse is
the reverse.
Federal is about 52 or
52%.
Why they say maybe 26, local government 22, 13% for
derivation.
So this is the system. They had a lot of money then, and they use it judiciously, because these people, their tax system was efficient, and they would like to show the people that this is what we are using your money to do. Nowadays, our tax system is not that efficient. If you say some people say the politicians are using our tax money. How many of the people are paying tax nowadays?
But let's look at it this way. You said the regions were richer then.
Yes, they were.
But all that they had was cocoa, cotton, groundnut. Today we have oil.
We have many sources.
We have oil, for goodness sake.
The oil at the disposal of the regions.
But they could.
It is the federal government that is controlling
the resources,
the majority of the resources. But in any way, you would like to say that there are some regions that are getting 13%,
yes.
Or states. What did they make of it?
They are even they are the poorest.
The system we are
of the
operating
states
now. In those days, when somebody goes to the United States or Great Britain to study, immediately you finish your study, you are rushing back home. The money we make here, we use it here. Nowadays, the money people make, either legitimately or otherwise, they take it down to the abroad again. They take it down to the people again. It's not being utilized here. The atmosphere is rife with stories of people having billions in foreign accounts. This money should be used for us here, but they are not being used. So the money they had then was judiciously used, and don't forget that even Nigeria was bought at 800 and something thousand.
Yes.
That would be ridiculous to some people. How can a whole country be bought at 800 and something thousand? Money was the value of money then was greater in our own in respect of Nigerian citizen, because value of naira to dollar to pound sterling, naira was even stronger than their currency then. So the money they have had value, and they use it judiciously. So I will agree that they had more money then than now.
Yes. Let's talk about.
We are not. That is not answering the question that maybe we are poorer or richer. We might be poor, we might be rich, but
still
the
poor.
money is not within our reach. Nigeria is rich now, richer than then, but the money is not available for development.
So what could be wrong?
Well, there are so many things that went wrong. Our resources are not being used for our development. Our minerals are being taken overseas. The foreign people will value it. They are the one that will tell you the value of the something. Our currency, don't forget that currency value depend on gold.
Gold, yes.
But we are the one that have
The gold.
The gold.
They are mining it here.
But these people are saying they have deposits more than us. So the value of their money is better than us. But we have this thing underground, we have it here. So those are the things that are causing problem. Up till now, gold is being mined in Nigeria and being taken over there, and they will make it to gold bars, and they use it as this is their gold deposit. But we have the deposit underground, our money is valueless. So these are the imbalances, the injustice that is happening, so that we cannot use our resources for our development.
Is this a function of bad leadership?
Bad leadership, yes. Then bad political arrangement, yes. Bad system of governance, yes. Those are the things that are causing.
No, you've taken three things together.
Yes, it's not one, you cannot
because when you now juxtapose it with what we had prior independence, 53 to 59, how do you put all these three?
Our leaders were better
then.
They were still learning the ropes, but then they were sincere. They make when they went wrong, they were sincerely wrong. They meant to serve their people. There are some other little problems, but they were sincere. And the kind of system we were using was pro-people. So you cannot come and say you want to lord it over. The premier is premier inter pares, or what do they call it?
First among
equal. You can see a scenario that happened in Britain some few months back.
Yes.
They changed their premier for about three or four times within a year. That is the kind of system they are using.
Okay,
immediately they pass vote of no confidence in you.
You are
gone. Somebody else within a tick.
The practice parliamentary system of government.
Yes.
Something happened in Nigeria in 1959, and it is still within the period under review. We had the parliamentary system of government. Some persons believe that except Nigeria returns to that system of government, maybe there won't be way out. So you talked about Britain. Their system, according to you, seems to be functioning. Yeah. In Nigeria, where we practice presidentialism, it's not functioning. We had an election in 1959 that promoted parliamentary system of government in this country. And of course, you have adduced to the fact that it was better off at that time. Would you recommend a return to parliamentary system of government?
Of course, it's the best system that we can use.
The parliamentary system.
Parliamentary system is the presidential system, the so-called presidential system we are using. Is not even as the original American presidential system. American president will pay.
Pays his own bills.
Pay his own bill. If you have visitors that are not state visitors, he will pay for their meals. So if you have extra visitor and they have to provide accommodation, you will pay. So here the presidential system we are using is just as if the monarchical system over there, they juxtapose it with presidential system, and the governor and the president become God. So you can't question them. They have control, life and power of life and death over the people. Immediately you attain that thing, you are so powerful.
But Nigeria is neck deep into presidentialism, and there is a popular political saying that no legislature will legislate itself out of existence. How do we go back to this parliamentary system? Can it be achieved in this setting?
Achieved. We have to, the people will have to know where things went wrong. If you go out there now and ask people what is Nigerian, what is exactly do you think is Nigeria's problem, if you have 10, if you ask 10 people, you are likely to get 10 different answers. So up till now, the people do not know what they want.
Even
Don't
Nigerians.
forget that the so-called constitution that we are operating now, there is not some weeks ago a notable lawyer in person of Jibo Wole Olanipekun said that the first error or the first lie in our constitution is we the people of Nigeria. That we must first of all tackle that one. Who are these we that enacted that something that these our so-called parliamentarians are depending upon? If you have to go back to that in the first instance, the constitution that got you elected, who made that constitution? Is it the people? So, but people are not talking. People are not. They don't seem to realize the problem. People say we want, when we get we got it wrong through bad leadership, forgetting that the leaders come from the people. They are not from the moon.
But it's okay.
Having enjoyed some measure of autonomy, we now have 36 states, plus the Federal Capital Territory making 37. We have a president there. Is it actually feasible to go to regional system of government, and under what arrangement?
Well, the arrangement, as far as I'm concerned, has to come from the people.
The people.
From the people. Now, if you go to President Tinubu now and say people want this and that, you say, which people? Which people? You are not hearing any noise from anywhere that people are not they are not comfortable with the system. So when people are not talking, people don't seem to know what exactly we want. So what do you want?
But if people will tell you that they want to talk, how to speak. Okay, so in year 2020, the youths tried speaking collectively.
With answers.
Many of them lost their lives. That is the fear of, many Nigerians at this time. They want to talk. Nigerians are not confused as to whether this system is not working. Majority of them believe that the system is not working. But of course, the fear of the gun is still very much in them. And they ask, it was not even this bad in a military system. So how can the people, maneuver that? How can they overcome that fear so that their voice... So many people have resorted to contributing, right, in the media.
Social media.
Is that enough?
No, it's not. It's not enough. Those people, the NSAS people, you said they try to speak out. The way they try to speak out, it was through a protest. Although people said it was impromptu, it wasn't planned, or so on and so forth. When you get to beer parlor, when you hear people talking, they say we want a parliamentary system. Even the churches, you preach and say this system is not good. Towns meeting, you talk about it. During the marriage ceremony, even the MC will try and say, this system we are using, people, what do you think? We want this. Those are the way you can talk now. It is not by protest. You are now saying that people are afraid of the gun. Are we in a military system? We have these politicians amongst us now. Whenever you have anything to do with them, tell them this is what people are saying. They live among us. If the people does not, if the people do not want them, they cannot. Most of them cannot come home to celebrate with us now. But we don't seem to know what we want. Most of these people, immediately they give you money. Immediately they dole out money. They say ranka dede. People are. It is what they can get from them that they are particular about. But I'm thinking that the way things are going now, people are feeling the pinch. Maybe we can continue to talk with this kind of program now. people will know what exactly is wrong with us.
So parliamentary system of government.
It is the best. For
Okay,
us.
so that's the first take home. Some persons will talk about solution. One of the solutions that have been dropped on the table now is that we should embrace parliamentary system of government. Okay, so I want us to look at something else. Now, when you look at the emergence of these foremost leaders, Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, they had the opportunity to travel out. Many of them actually acquired education somehow in this Western world, and they came back home to impact their society. So let's look at the emergence of leaders. The belief is that at that time, the best of the people ruled. Nobody will question the authority of Awolowo, even till now. And so many people, when you want to woo the people, will tell you, no, we are product of Awolowo. So even in death, years after his death, they submit to his leadership and the style thereof. But today, they believe, a Kenyan Professor Lumumba would say that in Nigeria and in Africa, the worst of us now rule us. Do you believe in this philosophy?
Well, I will still go back to the system. It is the system. It is those people that the system has thrown up. And don't forget that Awolowo paid his due before people. There is no authority without responsibility. The man paid his due. Even when he was in prison, people were still routing for him. When he came from the prison, the people believed that it was because of the people that they sent him to prison. But nowadays, you want to contest and you are being asked to pay 30 million. Where do you get such money from? You either sell your property, take a loan, or get a godfather to finance you. Then after winning the election, are you responsible to the people or to the
Godfather?
So somebody who gave you the money?
It takes time to pay back 30 million.
So it is the system.
So politics is now big business.
It is big business. It is the system.
Now let's look at it this way. When you talk about, you look at the pervasive poverty within the society. You look at the people. The people seem not to, maybe they are complacent. The Arab Spring rose out of a protest. Is it that we are complacent in this place, that we just be, okay, let them do whatever they like?
You see, the Arab Spring happened within Arabs. Don't forget that.
Yes.
If any spring should happen in Nigeria now, it will happen within about 300 to 400 nationalities, different languages.
But
so
in
it
the
cannot
Arab world,
happen.
Different nations.
Different nations.
Tunisia, Egypt, you have them like that.
They were Arabs. This
Speaking one language.
Speaking one language.
So it cannot happen in Nigeria.
One kind of religion. If such a thing happens in Nigeria, things have happened in Nigeria before. Some people led a sort of protest and all the rest. Eventually, some of them will lose their position or lose their life. Life goes on. So, Nigeria is a country of so many nations. So, whatever we want to do has to be by consensus. If don't forget that most of these protests happen in the south. Especially southwest. It is because the southwest that does not take they can't take your word just because you said it. Awolowo, that was governing them and leading them, led by example. They saw his antecedent and they know this man was sincere. They followed him. But now, nobody can just pass anything down and say this is what we want to do and people will follow you. Yoruba will ask, what are we going to make of this? Convince us that this is the best way. So the protest is always happening here, but there are some people up there that they have their own agenda. Things are going their way. So how do you think you can start any Arab Spring and it will get to them? They are profiting from the system. So they don't want it to change. Now, it is Yoruba people that are asking for autonomous region, let people control their resources. There are some people over there that they want to come and acquire your land, build on it, establish their business, and they are waiting for an auspicious time where indigenship will be eradicated and citizenship will be upheld, just like in America. So after spending 25 years in your place, they can vote and be voted for and become citizen. There are some people like that. And there are some people that their own influence, their own area, they don't want anything to affect their influence over their people. So if you are coming with a hot-headed program or whatever, they don't want to take it from you. So okay. Nigeria is different.
Okay, so before we bring people to join the conversation, let's talk about action point. Parliamentary system of government. There are many people that are listening and watching this program live that we agree with you. Let's talk about action plan. Okay, so we had Vision 2020. Today we are talking of Vision 2063. That's a long-term plan to achieve parliamentary system of government. What are the steps you think should be taken? Since it's not just going to happen overnight. Okay, so next month this should happen. Next year this should happen, and then we'll be closer to the goal.
First of all, all of us must agree that, if not all, majority of us must agree that we want parliamentary system. We are trying to analyze why parliamentary system is better. Some of us that didn't experience it then, at least we are experiencing presidential now, and we are comparing what happened then and now. We can see that during the parliamentary system, the atmosphere then was better than now. And people say, if your yesterday is better than your today, your tomorrow may be in problem. So if all of us now realize that, what we do now is, do we agree that we want parliamentary system? That's the first thing.
But there can be no consensus.
The consensus is, at least we are building it now. We are telling people now. If we open the lines now, and we hear what people will say, if 5 out of 10 people say parliamentary is good, then we know we are getting somewhere.
Okay. Now you can be a part of the discourse. The numbers to call to be part of this program: 0916-104-7698, 0916-104-7698, 0811-052-6487, 0811-052-6487, or 0902-280-9257. 0902-280-9257. Let's hear from you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, people of God.
Thank you so much. Olusegun Tawole, you're welcome.
Thank God again for this program and for IBR and for the players and the man on stage. God bless you all. Personally, I want to believe this morning that it's neither parliamentary or the presidential system of government that we play that is the problem. But the problem is the player. Those people that are playing the game, compared with those people that played the game before the independence. Where's the loyalty? Where's the faithfulness? Where's the honesty? Because in the country. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Olusegun Tawole. Hello, good morning.
Hello, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning.
A very good morning to you. Mr. Yeride, welcome. Welcome.
One thing I want you to know is that most of us, we do not know our legislatures, even to the federal level. Once the legislators are finding it difficult to tackle the security by not providing state police, what can we then say? What we know, the state policing is the next thing on the agenda now. What can we now say concerning the regions that want to go back to? Who will fight for us? You know this is the right thing to do now. But who will do it for us? Because he'll allow.
Amen. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Hello, good morning. Thank you. Pastor Dumbaku, you're welcome, sir.
It shall be well with you in Jesus' name.
Amen.
As I have been saying there is no system that says we should be stealing, be looting. No system in anywhere. The parliamentary system we are talking in good old days were better managed in one way or the other. It's not the system that is wrong with us, but the operators. They are stealing, they are looting everything, everywhere. The presidential system we are talking, we make it to be presidential in this country because we spend a lot of money on our politicians. They after money, they are not after strategy. So that, as far as I'm concerned, the presidential system is as good as currently knows. It is not the system that is worrying us, but the operators of the system. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Odumbaku. So on the program this morning, there is a suggestion that Nigeria returns to the parliamentary system of government. We just want a consensus. Do you agree? Is that the way to go? Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
John Okurafo on the line.
Mr. John Okurafo, you're welcome.
Yes, sir. Good morning, our guys in the house.
You're welcome.
What we are practicing now is balancing corruption. Let us go back to parliamentary, regional. If you are in your region, if anything goes wrong, you go to your representative and they ask him. But on this, you cannot ask. If you want to go and ask your representative now, what he will tell you is that others are they doing so. What we are doing now, we are balancing corruption. If it happens in the north, we say, oh, it has happened in the north, let it happen in the south. No. Let us go back to where you know your boundary. Okay. Good morning.
Thank you so much for your time. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
I am Private Shitu from Ijebu.
Primate, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for providing a solution. That solution is never my solution. Because this morning, Baba Femi Magbadero and Mr. Olaolu and our own Ayo, what is your name now?
Anu.
The three of you have only said the good side of parliamentary system. Tell me if you must tell the truth to our children this morning. Now, what has happened in the parliamentary system that is not happening in the presidential system? You are so much President Baba Awolowo and the rest as if they are saved. Where did Baba Awolowo get money to build his houses? Where did he get money to have rubber plantations? He's not only having houses at the Kenya, he also have it at the Ibadan. The dying wishes of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe is, I am sorry. That is the only president who apologized to Nigerians. Why is he apologizing if the system is so perfect? Now, under that system, do or die syndrome also appear. Mr. Femi Magbadero will quickly remember attitude them Olosalowo, Okubaba in the Jobo, and response came, Bejoba Shebo, Ketika. What has happened over then still happen now. But the solution remains on taking piece of development that was in parliamentary system. Those parliamentary systems is what is good, but the leadership also then was corrupt. So it is the problem is corruption. How do we deal with corruption? Our guest. How do we remove corruption? If corruption is removed, every system will work.
All right. Thank you so much, Primate Shitu, for your time. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, are you there? Hello, good morning. Hello.
Can you?
All right. Let's check someone else. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
This is Ayodele calling from Oki.
Ayodele, welcome.
Mr. Anon, good morning. I think it would be a very ridiculous statement comparing the era of Awolowo to this present leaders of ours. I think it would be a very, very ridiculous statement. The Awolowo and others there, their focus was on how to enhance Nigeria, on how to develop Nigeria, on how to make Nigeria be in that top level. But the leaders that we have presently are leaders that are just investing our money and nothing more. They are not building on anything, sir. That statement that you are.
Okay. Can Mr. Laulu take some of these issues?
All right.
Okay.
Can you respond?
Can you see what I was talking
There is no
about?
consensus.
We had about 7 or so
Yes.
callers now. Only 2 of them said parliamentary. Someone condemned even parliamentary. He even condemned the leaders. And they are saying we should eradicate corruption. The present leaders are not good. Yeah. But don't forget that majority of us will say politics is a dirty game. Majority of us agreed that politics is a dirty game. If politics is a dirty game, it means it has to be practiced by dirty people. And the dirtiest of them will win. So why are we complaining? If we so make politics so dirty, we think it's dirty, that is, we are not even going to touch it with a long pole. So, and those people who are bold enough to say they want to go there, and they are doing it the way they feel they should do it, why are we complaining?
Okay.
So one thing has played out today, and it speaks to what you said earlier on.
Yeah.
The issue of consensus.
Consensus.
Okay,
We are
so
not ready yet
if
now.
President Bola Tinubu is watching the program or listening,
Yes.
saying, okay, the majority will carry the day.
We don't even have a majority now.
So does this speak to the fact that Nigerians are confused? Nigerians do not know what they want or something?
That's exactly what I've been trying to say.
And that's exactly what is affecting the clamor for restructuring.
Yeah.
No
Some
consensus?
people say Yoruba nation now. Some people will say to your time to Israel. Some people will say let us get good leaders. Let us even go confederacy. But what exactly do we want? That is the problem.
Let's return to the calls. There are many people here. Hello, good morning. Oh, Mr. Yeride, you've called earlier on.
Let's give
give
somebody-
other people the opportunity to be part of the program. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
This is Timothy Makobo.
Timothy, welcome.
In short, I think the federal system that we are operating is not the same system they are operating in America. Then why is it working for the US? And not only US are operating that system. It's not the issue of the system. It's the way the leader. A situation where who people want to be a president or a governor, the people, the INEC will not allow. The professors will take election. How can somebody say he wins one state, he lost Lagos, he lost Kano, he lost FCT, they claim winner. So the corruption is too much. So how are we going to get it right? And you will hear billion, trillion, billion over billion mixing. Nobody is going to book. You will hear the proof. It's not every day that how to prove somebody. You will not know how the case ended. So it's the citizen, it's not the issue of the federal system, parliamentary or whatever. The system is the rich are getting richer, the rich are above the law. Why the law is only hanging on the poor? How are we going to get it right? All the crowd speaking won't take us anywhere. Okay.
All right, thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
I'm Samson Akintayo from Agro.
Mr. Samson Aktayo, welcome.
Thank you. I am glad we just displayed what our problem is in this country this morning. And it is that we don't know what we want. You see, can you see now, we cannot have a consensus. Like you said, if the president or the policymakers have been listening to this program,
Yes.
it shows we are divided. We are divided people in this country. We cannot even see. If you see someone today that comes with a solution this morning that this is the way out in this country, even if it does not go with your own solution, try and adopt the person's solution. You see that by the time you see the person tomorrow, he will come with another solution. That is our problem in this country. We don't know what our problem is. And without knowing where the root of the problem is, there can never be a solution. We'll continue to waver in this. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. That's a big one. Thank you, Samson Akintayo. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I am Adimola from Ibadan.
Mr. Ademola, welcome.
Leadership is the ability to define issue when we have the ability to the problem. If it is the only thing we practice agriculture and we generate a prestige revenue. some people are not getting this for, and some people are corrupt. So, and people need to change for better another day. The community to focus on this agriculture. Just that.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ademola. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Kindly turn down the volume of that radio, sir.
Okay, sir.
All right. Go ahead.
Anu,
Yeah.
Fred Yakubu is at the line, sir.
Mr. Fred, go ahead.
Yeah. I have always advocated that this country is a blessed country for being ruled by vagabonds. Let me tell you, sir, there's nothing we don't have here to be great. But we have ingress in power. Sir, let me tell you, what we lack in any form, in any government, is the leadership quality. Even the Awolowo we are talking about. If you read the Coca report, what did it say? Because the private city was talking just now. If you go regional, I tell you, somebody from Ijebu, they will tell you somebody from Oyo has ever ruled. That'll be a problem. But if we have productive leadership, the national leadership, devoid of corruption, we will rule the world. This is the problem. What we are doing now is we are teaching the upcoming ones how to be corrupt.
Okay.
How to do it. And this is just the problem. In all field, I mean in all fair. If you know the amount of corruption that is going on, you will shake your head. The corrupt ones are the ones ruling now. They cannot deny it.
All right, Mr. Fred. And now, let's just pick these and we'll wrap up with this. Now, Mr. Boguloko, we led the conversation, and the reactions we're getting shows that we, in terms of profiling solution, we are miles apart. To some persons, the first thing to look at, the most important thing now, is the fight against corruption. Some persons will kick against the parliamentary system of government. We looked at why it worked at that time and all that. But this is the reaction of Nigerians. Another problem to solve. How do we solve this?
The diversity.
Okay. The diversity. We have to. This program is doing something very, very nice. We are analyzing what went wrong, what happened in those days, and we are trying to tackle it by giving what seems to be
The solution.
Somebody talked about presidential system and as we are practicing it here, that they are rigging election and so on, forgetting that in America, you conduct election in your state. So Oyo State will conduct its presidential election.
Nothing like national election.
Nothing like national election. So if you rig in Oyo State, it does not mean you can rig
So why didn't we copy that? Why was that not transplanted alongside, the presidential system?
We started by saying the colonialists left Nigeria in a lopsided. The arrangement was lopsided, sort of.
Are you blaming the colonialists?
No, forget, not exactly. The what we inherited was some people were at disadvantaged position. When they move from the parliamentary to presidential, they still retain that advantage. So nothing of such can work until we go back to the real federalism. We are not practicing federalism. That's the bone of contention here. Federalism is you govern your area, I govern my area, with the center, they have a rule for the center. We are not practicing federalism.
Does any of these regions stand to lose anything if we adopt this arrangement? Yes.
Nobody is losing anything. Let me use an example. What is happening in Nigeria now is just like a professor of political science. When the students were arguing for socialist system and communist
System.
communist system and socialism. What's America practicing?
We have mixed
the
economy.
capitalists.
We have
Capitalists
capitalism.
and
Yes.
socialists. So the people arguing on the side of socialists said everything will be okay, will be equally distributed, and people will enjoy. The capitalists say the capitalists will develop the economy, then they will make this. Then the professor said, okay, we are going to practice this in our class now. Every test I conduct here, we are going to distribute
The marks.
the marks equally. The first exam, somebody scored 90, another one scored 40. They found the average and gave everybody the average. The second one, so the best was 60, and the worst about 20. They distributed the average. The next one maybe 40. So now they could see that any system that you don't give people opportunity to grow, to control their
Some
resources,
persons
it's not
are
going to work.
perpetual
Not going to
losers.
work.
No, because I asked that question because at this time and age, we are still fighting. The North and the South are engulfed in arguments over the location of fan headquarters, CBN units, and all that.
It's not necessary.
I know. I guess we have to continue this.
thing.
We have to continue this next week. Still
I
looking
quite
at
agree.
Nigeria before independence, 1953 to 1959. There is a lot that we
A
have
lot
to
be
learn
done.
there.
Yeah.
Because it is on that.
Because somebody was talking about maybe the leaders during something were corrupt. Somebody built a house in Ibadan, another one in Ikene. The man was living in his house. He wasn't using government house. Everybody saw.
We will continue this.
Let's call it a round.
We shall continue this next week. I know your final thoughts.
Okay, my final take. We are in search of a solution, but obviously we are divided as a people. How do we close ranks? We'll continue next week, Tuesday, by the special grace of God.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you, Mr. Laolu Abogunloko, a public affairs analyst, for coming onto the program today. God willing, we may have you next week and maybe one other person to partner with you on this discourse. We want to appreciate our backroom staff, our producers, Tunji Adeyefa, Tope Lalude, Victor Shegun, and Godwin and all the likes there, and to Seni Sulaiman there for the audio
And then
of the
Shola.
thing. Shola, yes, we want to appreciate all of you for doing this for us, for giving us a good production this morning. And of course, to the CEO of Impact Group, we say a big thank you to you, sir, for providing this platform for us. My name is Adefemi Makpadero. We'll continue the discourse on Inside next week. Nigeria, 1953 to 1959. So much to learn from there.
See you next week.
Insights, insights, insights.
Yes, I want to know
Which way Nigeria is heading to? Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria?
tell me
Which way to go? I love my fatherland.
oh